We'll start with Dina's story, the poor Indian boy who was found in the Indian forests of Alexandria. This boy was found when he was 6 years old in 1867, and the story of his finding is close in its details to most similar stories, where the hunters saw a child following the wolves to their den. So the hunters killed the wolves and captured the child Dina, who was a child with mental abilities, normal, but he walked on all fours like wolves. The boy was taken to an orphanage, where he lived with his fellow children, but Dina still refused to be a human being. He did not learn human language, and he used to tear his clothes and eat only raw meat that was thrown to him on the ground to be eaten just like wolves. The only thing Dina learned was smoking. He became addicted to it until he died in 1895, which is a funny and crying irony. In the end, humans could not offer the wolf boy anything but the bad habit of smoking. 2. Daniel, the Andean goat boy. This boy was found in the Andes Mountains in Peru. He was 12 years old when they found him. Scientists from the University of Kansas caught him and named him Daniel. Through some experiments and studies on the boy, some things were learned about him, including he spent 8 years of his life among the mountains accompanied by mountain goats in the Andes. He walked on all fours like an animal. Its diet was limited to goat's milk, in addition to cranberries and plant roots. The strangest thing is that his feet have scars like a hoof. He is good at telepathy and communicating with goats, but he did not like learning human language. This story happened in March 1990. Bello, the Nigerian chimpanzee. Bello was found in 1996 in the Falgore forest, 150 kilometers from the Nigerian city of Kano. He was 2 years old when they found him, and he was mentally and physically disabled. They found him among the chimpanzees. Bello's condition was not unique in those parts of Africa, where the disabled children were thrown into the forest. That was the custom. Bello was living with Todan Tor Maliki when his story reached the press in 2002. Bello was moving and acting like a chimpanzee, clapping his head, jumping on his feet like a monkey, breaking things and hurting others at first. But with the time Bello spent with humans, he became calm and harmless. But he did not give up his animal behavior until he died in 2005. 4. Traian Calderal. This story happened in the Brasov region of Romania. The hero of the story was 7 years old when they found him, 3 of which he spent with stray dogs. Little Traian could not bear being away from his mother, who was being beaten day and night by her bad husband, Traian's father, and when his mother ran away from home, she became his father's custody of the poor child. But can a father this cruel raise a child? Traian's mother did not abandon him. She tried to get him back repeatedly, but all attempts failed, and the bad father prevented the child from seeing his mother, which forced young Traian to run away from home to search for his mother. Traian disappeared 4 years, and during that time his mother hoped that her son would live a better life somewhere with a good family that would adopt and care for him. What this poor mother did not realize was that her young child was roaming the streets accompanied by homeless dogs, and he continued in this situation until he was found by a shepherd named Ion Manolescu in 2002. Traian was 7 years old when they found him. He was sleeping completely naked in one of the cardboard boxes, with what looked like a nylon sheet over him, and a dead dog was found near him. Traian could not speak, and he was suffering from many diseases, including severe rickets, and he could not walk due to cold snaps. Doctors say that Traian would never have survived without the help of that dog, which they found dead near the child. It turned out that the dog was searching. He asked for food and brought it to see the crippled man, and thus the child was able to continue life despite his illness. Before Traian was found, there were many reports of a child and a dog on the roads. That dog was Traian's only companion in his ordeal, and he was truly the little boy's best friend and companion. 5. Oksana Malaya. This story happened in 1991 in Ukraine. The heroine of this story was found at the age of 8 and had spent 5 years among dogs. A poor little girl was born in a dilapidated house that exuded the disgusting smell of poverty, mixed with the smell of alcoholic beverages. What can any of us hope for from such a house? The family that lived in that house consisted of 3 individuals. The father and mother were drunkards who spent most of their day drunk. They had a 3-year-old daughter who needed supervision and care. But has any of us seen a drunkard who is good at taking care of his children? The little girl, Oksana, was spending her day in an abandoned shed with dogs located behind the house. Her parents did not care about her, and the child continued to live with the dogs for years until the Ukrainian authorities discovered her situation and tried to save her from her miserable situation. The dogs defended Oksana and tried to bite the policeman, but the police eventually succeeded in taking the girl, who did not know when she was being rescued except for 2 words, yes and no. The girl was like a dog. She had strong senses of smell and hearing, in addition to strong vision. When she wanted to eat, she would sit like a dog in a squatting position. This girl was deprived of intellectual and social stimulation and emotional support, so Oksana was sent to care homes for rehabilitation. But it was difficult for a normal girl to return, so she was sent to a home for the mentally disabled. In 2010, Oksana became a 26-year-old girl who worked as a caretaker on the cow farm of the home for the disabled. In one of her interviews, she said sadly, "If I were among the dogs, I would